to a show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats podcast. And it's me, it's Dante. And for you all, it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but for me, I actually haven't recorded in 3 weeks. So
that is long.
I stacked all my episodes in one. I think I recorded like 7 episodes in like 5 days. And I was just like, oh, I can chill. I can take a breather and relax a little bit. And it's kind of weird coming back because it's like, I haven't done this in 3 weeks. I've done other podcasts, but I haven't done this in 3 weeks. So let's ease back into it, ladies and gentlemen.
To be back, huh?
It's nice to be back. It's nice. And for my welcome back podcast, I want to welcome to the podcast today, actually one of the co-host of the Chokeholds and Chill podcast, which I was a guest over there. It was a great time. So, it
was awesome. We loved having you. We had a good time.
I felt like after I got done, I was like, dude, that felt like home. So,
I'm so glad. That makes me so happy.
Like that's always that good feeling when you record with somebody and they say, I feel like I belong here. So, like recording with you and Jen, it felt like home. So my guest here today, though, is not Jen. It is actually Mallory from the Chokeholds and Chill podcast. Welcome, Mallory.
Thank you for having me. I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. And the Buffalo Bills just won. So nice. It's a good day so far in this household.
Good. So I was flipping between games. I saw the Bills playing, and it was one of those games where I was looking at I like Buffalo, my old neighbor. I grew up down the street from them, and during those 4 in a row Super Bowls, so I by default became a fan with them.
That's so great. That's good news.
Well, I'm a Lions fan, like typically, but I cheer for the Bills because it's like, you know what? I'm here. I'm watching these Super Bowls with y'all. I'm taking in that pain too. And plus, during that time, I didn't like the Giants. I didn't like the Redskins. I didn't like the Cowboys. And then the next time, I really didn't like the Cowboys.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah, it's funny. Bills. Well, that's like home for us. We're from central New York. So technically the Bills are the only New York team because the Giants and the Jets both play in New Jersey. So New York, no way. But I actually I like to root for the Lions too, like outside of the Bills, because I always love a good underdog story, and like the Lions, they get the Bills on that level.
Yeah. Well, like last year, the big thing I kept hearing from all my friends was like, we want to see the Bills and the Lions. And my buddy, who's a Bills fan, we would message each other after each game. It's like, dude, whether it's a win or a loss, it's like, if it's a loss, it's like, tough break, but we'll see each other in February. And we kept it up, and we both fell short. And, we just messaged each other after. It was like,
breakers,
year, dude, we got this next year. So
the famous last words of any Bills fan is, well, there's always next year.
Well, hey, that's the Cowboys chant every year for the last 30 years now. It's like, this is our year. We them boys. Well, we'll get them next year. No, you won't.
Cowboys, get out of here.
They're still living in 1995, the last time they won. Weirdos.
Seriously. I mean, we can't really talk, right, when never won, but it is what it is. It's fine.
True, but also too, at least it's like when you haven't won, it's like, look, I know that my team is not good. I know my team struggles, but I don't pretend. It's like now that the Lions are actually doing well, and like Buffalo and Detroit around the same time have been like kind of just
around there up, yeah.
So it's like now we can kind of like say, well, this might be our year. Cowboys can't say that.
Right.
They do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like things might be looking better for us. We'll see what happens. But
hopefully, come February, I'll shoot you a message like, we're there. Like,
fingers crossed, baby. Things got to turn around a little bit, but it can happen.
like win or lose, I'll be happy because it's like, look, the Bills finally got theirs. If not, then the Lions like finally got theirs, and that's all I'm going for. Anyone else in the Super Bowl, the last 2 years I've been at Super Bowl parties, but I've just been like, I'm not watching this. I'm just here for the commercials.
I hate the Chiefs. I don't even.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chiefs.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Everyone's listening like, what the fuck is this show? Like, we listen to football talk?
The football podcast.
Hey, I mean, if y'all want that, go to the Colompton Beer Club. It comes out every Sunday morning because, we make our football picks. So If you want to gamble and maybe lose some money because we don't make good picks, go listen to that podcast. It's a fun time.
No, I randomly have really good luck when I'm betting, but I'm pumped. I had Josh Allen's my quarterback for fantasy. He got me 47 points today. I don't even have to worry about shit the rest of the day because I've already won. So.
I'm in one league. I'm the second to last team, and I'm playing the last place team who hasn't won a game. Oh, and no. I'm just like, dude. And my buddy text, he was like, "Don't be the one." It's like,
don't do it.
I told him if I'm the one, I'm not paying you. So you better hope I win, because if I don't win, like I'm not paying you whatever the amount was to get into the league, and also I'm gonna drop all my players. Like I will be the worst loser. So right now I have a 93% chance of winning. All his players have played, and I still have Gibbs, Goff. I got Kyron Williams playing right now, and I think I have
you're good.
Like 2 players tomorrow night. So yeah, I should win, and I'm up. So I should be fine. So yeah, they lucked out. But I'm telling you, if I would have lost to the winless team,
I would have been upset for you.
Oh no, I would have, I would have thrown a tantrum, and then after that, I would have I'm not doing this next year. Just don't call me.
Is your wife a football fan too?
Not really. She watches it, but she's not really into it. Like she doesn't. Like she knows Detroit players because obviously in the house, my daughter, if you say Detroit, she immediately says Lions, and then she's got her whole little routine. But no, it's just me here watching football. And like earlier, I'm up on the couch. I was like, I'm gonna go to the basement and watch the game. I was like, you can watch it here in the living room. I was like, I don't want to take up the TV. You guys might want to watch something else, and I don't want to be in the way. And they're like, no, it's fine. Like Sophie's going outside, and I'm setting up Christmas stuff, because we haven't had Thanksgiving yet. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'll watch the game, and then I fell asleep. So, because the Lions weren't playing yet. Like I was watching the Bucks play the Bills, and I was like, okay, this is exciting. This is going back and forth.
It was like hey, this changes or something.
Yeah, it was like there's a lot going on here. Yeah. I went over and looked at the Bengals. I was like, oh, look at these guys. They're gonna lose. And then I went over to look at whoever the Packers were playing. Oh, the Giants.
The Giants.
I was like, the Packers might lose. And then Jameis Winston threw an interception. I was like, well, fuck. Like I'm going to set up in the basement. So that's all. Right. So thank you everybody for listening to our football TED Talk there.
Go Bills.
Now we're gonna jump into some jiu-jitsu talk here. As long as you guys are still here. If you're not, whatever. But if you're still here, we love you guys. And I might owe you a t-shirt. Let me know. But Mallory, for you, in terms of jiu-jitsu and everything, how did you come about jiu-jitsu? Like, were you doing martial arts prior to jiu-jitsu, or was this your first one?
I grew up an athlete. I always played, I grew up baseball, softball was my big sport. I was such a tomboy growing up. But I played soccer, basketball, softball in high school, and then I played softball in college. So I always played team sports. my high school was like really small, so we didn't have like a wrestling team or like we didn't have I really didn't have any combat sports anything around me or know anybody that did any combat sports. But I played softball in college, and then I played a little bit overseas after college before I decided I needed to be an adult. And then I started working, because adult stuff. But
Yeah.
I kind of went from, always being involved in some sort of like coaching softball or playing softball. And like as an adult, I played actually in an all men's softball league with my brother. I was a catcher in softball, so I like played with on my brother's team. And then when I moved for work, I just didn't have like all my softball community or like that activity.
Sure.
And so for a few years, I really just like wasn't doing much, like of anything as far as like a sport or something that I really like loved or was passionate about. I was in like retired athlete mode and it kind of sucked. But my husband and I, well, we only been married a year, but we've been together for like nearly 10 years now. But we were traveling around for work because we're both therapists. So we move around. We would move every like 3-4 months. And so I'd always talked about like, oh, I want to try jiu-jitsu. And like, I know nothing about like any martial arts. Truly, I've never watched MMA. Like, couldn't tell you the difference between like karate and taekwondo. I don't know. Like, I genuinely just like, I've always been like, I want to try jujitsu. Jujitsu is so cool. And that's like the only thing. And because we moved so much, I could never really get like established or like really go anywhere and like give it a real try.
Yeah.
And then we ended up settling here, and I randomly met the owner of a gym here. I'm on the Oregon coast, and I went to a fundamentals class, and I fell in love. I was 30. So I didn't start until, I was in my 30s, and it was literally the best decision I have ever made. It totally changed my life. And I don't think that anybody would have ever guessed that I would say that jujitsu is my favorite sport and not like softball or baseball, but here we are.
I mean, I think as you know, an athlete, just period, though, once you get to that point where you're not playing your sport anymore,
Mm-hmm.
there is kind of that gap. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what do I do? Because like I played football
Mm-hmm.
growing up, and there's a certain point where I could do flag leagues, sure, but it's still it's the wear and tear on the body, I
Mm-hmm.
think is what got me. But you find this gap though, and you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, what do I do? Do I, start a blog? Do I, start crocheting? Maybe, I don't know, take ballroom dancing or something. You want to
Right.
find something. And at jiu-jitsu, I find for quite a few athletes has been a great transition.
Oh my
At
gosh.
least I can say for myself and for you as well, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. I feel like so much of my identity in my entire life was like as an athlete. And then like going through this period of time where like I wasn't an athlete, I was a retired athlete and I wasn't really doing anything. And I was focused more on other things, and I like gained weight and I wasn't as healthy and I wasn't feeling great about myself. And I was just like, dude, I need to fucking do something. I need to do something other than just like, you know, feel bad and miss softball and miss, doing things and having a community. And it's tough when you live, I'm like, I have a lot of friends here now. But being so far away from home, I'm literally on the other side of the country. So it's hard to make friends
Yeah.
as an adult and it's hard to like find new communities as an adult. So it's but community or jiu-jitsu's definitely given me such a community here, and it's just the best. Like I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, just do jujitsu. It'll change your life.
Same here. I tell everyone that I know that's not training, just give it a try. Just
Mhm.
give it a try, and you know y- you'll enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy it. And when I try not to tell stories of my training and battle stories, because it's like that doesn't sound fun at all. Like And then, they look at my fingers. I was like, your hands? No, I don't want my hands to look like this. Like, they don't have to look like this.
Right.
Like,
Like
they can be fine.
that's how my sister came out here to visit me a few weeks ago, and she came and watched the classes that I coached, but she was just like, nope, doesn't want anybody near her like that, like not her thing at all, which is totally fine. But it's just so funny how she's like, nope, I don't understand why you would want that to be your hobby. She's like, it looks cool for you, but I don't want anybody that close to me. So,
Yeah, that's my wife's
mm,
argument. She's like, I don't want to be up close with anybody like
mhm,
that. And she's like, look, I love that you do it. And but there was a point where I was going to quit, and she was like, you can't quit, because she had noticed a change in me. Like, I'd become more relaxed. One of my old childhood friends, he pointed out that I was a lot calmer.
mhm,
Like, when tense situations would come up, it was like, no, like, you've changed. Like, since doing jujitsu, you've become a lot calmer. You're like, on their podcast, jokingly, they call me Dante the Destroyer, because it was chaos. It was
mhm,
like, if there's a like, if there's a tense situation, I'm the one that's going to just be like, okay, let's escalate it more. Like, oh,
mhm,
we talking about fighting? Oh, I like to fight. And,
mhm.
I jump in like Wolverine, like, just like, I don't think that's how you jump into fights. But after like training, it's like that idea. Like, once I learned how to fight, I realized, like, hey, I don't actually want to fight. Like, we don't
Mhm.
need to fight. We can just, be chill. But my wife, she points out, and my buddy points out, like, hey, since you started training, you're chill. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, you guys should come train too. You guys can be chill. And they're like, nah, we good.
It
We don't need
really
that.
does, like, make you calm in chaos. That's like it you're literally being, like, trapped or smothered or however, and you have to just, like, sit there and, like, find your zen and figure out what you're gonna do. You can't just lose it, you know? And it's given me, like, so much just, like, so much ability to ground myself in different situations. It really just, like, totally shifts your whole mindset. I feel like the first few years of training, like I went through a lot like in my personal like family life, and that was like my place where I could go and just like get out of my head and get in my body and just find calm and whatever chaos is happening, either whether it's chaos on the mats or chaos off the mats, like I feel like I could just go and just zen out in like the weirdest, like, let's try and choke each other, but this is so calm and normal kind of way. But it really, I feel like it's like this odd, like healing and calming and chaos. And, I love it.
So, like, as a retired athlete,
Hmm.
but like, just athlete, period, transition into jujitsu, I would imagine then, once you started learning and getting the grasp for the sport,
Hmm.
did you start, like, when did you start competing?
I knew right away that I wanted to start competing. Like, I knew probably a few months in, I was like, I'm in. So I think I was training for like 7 or 8 months when I did my first competition at white belt. Um, I honestly like, I'm glad I did it so early. I honestly would have done it earlier, but where we are, like, you have to travel for any tournaments. It's like there's not a, Portland's like 4 hours away. So you have to travel for these tournaments. So there's not like a ton of opportunities. But yeah, I think I was training for 7 or 8 months, and holy crap, I went in and I just got my ass kicked. Like, you know how you don't know that first time you compete, you don't know like the level of intensity when you're fighting people that you don't train with for the first time. Like, I've never trained on these
Yeah.
people. And holy crap, when I was so startled the first person, I was like, oh, we are not friends. Okay. Right. No, but I learned like so much. Unfortunately, like as you progress, I feel like especially like in women's competitive fields, the pool kind of gets smaller and smaller because you know people fall off. So I haven't been able to compete as much. I'm a purple belt now, so I'm planning on doing Master Worlds in Vegas next year. That's the big thing that I will be training for. And hopefully there will be some pools for some other smaller competitions, but it's tough because you have to travel and there's just like no one. Like, I'm not trying to go fight 17, 18-year-olds and just get murdered. I'm too old for that shit.
Oh yeah. I think that's one of those things where I just recently spoke with the guests about, as you start moving up in the rank,
Mm-hmm.
And rank and age, that pool
Mm-hmm.
gets more and more shallow. And it's just like, oh man, like, to the point where now you have to start like tracking down like people in your division, like, hey, so what are you doing next weekend?
Right.
Like, you want to go to Vegas?
Right. Like it's so frustrating. I think the last tournament, actually it was the first tournament that I did as purple belt, the only tournament that I've done as purple belt. I went and I think there was two girls in my brackets for both gi and no gi. The first one, the only one girl showed up and she was like, I traveled like 4.5 hours to go there. I did the whole like, I was on weight, I was fucking ready, I was feeling good, and I was so pumped because I hadn't competed in a while. So I had 2 rounds. Or no, one girl didn't show up. The other girl, I think I lost by decision. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyways, afterwards, she's like, I don't think I'm going to stick around for the next bracket. I think I'm going to go home. I just haven't been feeling great the last couple of weeks. I'm like, really? I'm like, but I traveled 4.5 hours to be here. And, and then so the other person that was in that bracket, they never showed up. So I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm glad that this is how I spent my weekend. And I was just like left. I was like, all right, well, I don't have anybody to compete against, so I'm gonna head home. And somebody called me and they were like, oh, you have to come and pick up your medal. Like you won by walkover. And I'm like, I don't want a gold medal that I didn't even compete for. I'm like, I'll
Like,
just take my money back. Like, it's cool.
like here's your default prize, like,
Right.
for
Like, come
showing
on.
up.
How about a gas card, bro? Like, that'd be nice.
Yeah, actually, yeah, like maybe we should try to get a petition on that. Like, hey, instead of the default medals, like, why don't we get like some kind of like, I don't know, gift card or something, like a
Right.
Visa
Yeah.
gift card.
No, that would
Um,
be nice. But no, so it's all right though. I've definitely found myself I love to coach so much. Coaching has always been a big part of my life. So it's I'm okay not being able to compete as much because I get to coach. So that's okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
Good. That's always good that you have some kind of anchor there, though, too,
Hmm.
where it's not like, you're not the individual that's like, I have to always be competing. It's
Hmm.
like, because you're still getting some sort of fulfillment out of it,
Hmm.
that being in coaching. So that's a good anchor to have there, because I I've seen some folks where it's like, if they're not competing,
Hmm.
they're antsy. I was like,
Right.
hey, don't take that out on me.
Right. Like it's still like it holds you because I'm the kind of person that I need to be working towards something to like stay motivated. So, like, I hate running. Running is, I think, the worst form of torture in the world. But I know that like it's good for you. So sometimes I will like occasionally train for a race, but I have to have a race that I'm training for, or else I won't do it at all. So like when I'm not training for like an upcoming competition, like of course like I still go and but I'm not training as hard. Like there's not as much like intensity or um and I know that's like something that obviously I can work on myself, but I do find that because I have to like answer to other people and like teach them something, and when they ask me like, oh well, what would you do in this situation, I have to figure that out still. So that keeps me like keeping myself accountable and keeping on, learning and watching videos and making sure I know, not that, because there's so many different ways to accomplish the same thing in jiu-jitsu. And I think
Yeah.
that I've kind of come into my own as far as finding my coaching style and it's really like, I feel like my students have given me so much more than I've probably given them, because like my game has gotten so much better just from having to help them learn, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's something that I learned, um, like at towards the end of white belt, early blue belt, when coach asked me to start working with the kids and helping to
Hmm.
coach the kids. And I started learning a lot more from teaching the kids.
Yeah.
And then like in training, with some of the blue belts and like some of the other white belts with me, I started using kid jitsu on them. It was like, I'm just gonna beat y'all with the stuff I'm showing to the littles right now. All these little simple things, because everybody, as you're going up the chain,
Hmm.
you're learning more advanced stuff. And a lot of times people forget the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So, when you're coaching and teaching anything, even, at those higher levels, like the more you're showing it, the more you're having to kind of get a better understanding of it. Because if I ask you a question about, De La Hiva,
Hmm.
is like, obviously I don't know. So I hope you do. And because you're my coach, I need that.
Right.
And if you don't, that's the thing too. It's like, well, look, we'll figure it out together.
Hmm.
And now there's your incentive there, to now pick up whatever knowledge or information that you need to gather for it. So, coaching, I think a lot of folks who don't coach or who haven't coached really, I don't know that they really see how much coaching helps the coach as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I
Oh,
think that just probably anybody in martial arts, there's like, we talk about imposter syndrome a lot. And like when I got promoted to my purple belt, I was like, there is in no world that I deserve a purple belt, right? And like you have like that imposter syndrome. I'm like, I still feel like a white belt. Um and so it is like, there are just those times like when you're coaching or you're helping somebody figure something out, that I'm like, I have this like brief moment of like, maybe I am a purple belt, you know, like, oh, maybe I am now. It is valid, you know? So it definitely, I think coaching has helped my imposter syndrome with the sport in general. But,
oh yeah. It's like those moments where you're like, I do know stuff. Huh.
yeah, it's like, it's so nice.
Although I feel that sometimes whenever like a white belt asks me a question, I'm like, oh my God, like
I
they're
can
asking me a
answer
question. Do I know things? Like I do know things. And then
Mhm.
when we start rolling, I get my ass kicked. I'm like, man, I suck at jujitsu. Like, I need a new hobby, maybe
It's very
crocheting.
humbling sport.
Very, very much. That's
Mhm.
again why I keep trying to get my friends to come do it, because it's like, look, you're gonna love it, but it's also humbling because I think regular people just walking around, it's like I think a lot of folks, especially when I see interactions on the internet, and the internet's a whole different beast. But I
Okay.
think a lot of folks that be talking a lot of smack is like, you need some humbling. So
Mhm.
why don't you come out here behind a bowling alley where I train at? It's not a weird thing. That's just where the building is.
Just where it
Uh,
is.
sign this waiver, and then let's talk. Just talk. We'll just talk. But yeah, it's an experience that I think so many folks like. I don't think jujitsu's for everyone, but I think
Mhm.
everyone should try it.
Mhm.
At least once, so
Yeah.
that way you know.
Mhm. I
Uh,
totally agree. 100%.
so I want to kind of shift to podcast talking for a sec, because I love talking to other podcasters because, like you just mentioned, the imposter syndrome thing there.
Mhm.
I always feel that, like, before we started recording, I told you, I was like, man, like I get nervous every time I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm
Yeah.
still nervous every time going in. And there are those moments where that imposter syndrome creeps in. Cause like, should I why should I be the one talking to this guest? Why should they share their story with me?
Mhm.
Um, so it's always nice talking to other podcasters because it's almost like our own community within the community of
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu, especially jiu-jitsu podcasters, because it's
Yeah.
like it's I know there's a lot more popping up, but even still with that, we still have kind of this little community within.
Mhm.
um so like for you with the podcast, when it that ideal come about, and like just how did it formulate for you and Jen?
Yeah, so we had launched in January, but we had kind of talked about doing it for I don't know, a while of last year because a friend of ours had a podcast that she had started, and we kind of would kind of guest host on there a little bit, and but all of our lives, our schedules were also different, that it was never something that was consistent. And it was something that Jen and I like we really wanted to, we thought we could make something out of it. And so we talked about it for a while, and then the new year came and we were like, you know what, let's do it. Like, let's freaking do it. We just, we had some good ideas, and we were like, I think that this can be like a thing. I think that we can talk to some people and just grow the community. And like there's so much that the community has to offer, and it's like such a big but very small world at the same time. And so just being able to like talk to people from all over the country, all over the world, really, it's just it's been really really fun. So it's been a passion project, but I feel like we can kind of create some more opportunities out of it, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. So, but yeah, so Jen's just like my best friend. So it's our little passion project at this point. But yeah, we're almost a whole year in, which is crazy.
That's all. Like that 1 year in is
Mhm.
such a big deal
Yeah,
because
it's how did
it's
it? I don't
hard.
know how it went by so fast. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. I have a friend who I've kind of piggybacked off a couple different podcasts. I have
Hmm.
one podcast that I kind of work with every so often over the years, a bunch of good friends. They've been doing it now for almost 10 years. And I had another friend who popped up, and he had a podcast and they had just started. And I would guest host on there every so often. And that's when I kind of similar. I was like,
Hmm.
huh, okay, well, we could do this together. And they're like, their schedule is really inconsistent. So I was like, well, I'm
Hmm.
gonna go do my own thing.
Right.
And like within that first year, it was so hard, like because I was scared. Like I would schedule with somebody and like they got to change the schedule. And at the time, I wasn't recording like weeks in advance. I was recording like the day before. Like, hey, this goes out tomorrow. Oh, you can't record? And I go up to my wife. I
Oh
was like,
no.
hey, can you be my guest tonight for the
Yeah.
podcast? Like just weird things. Like we're gonna talk about Christmas movies.
Yeah,
Like
it is wild though. I mean, it is definitely like we did one day. I don't know how people stack so many, but I think there was one day that we did like four episodes in a row, like scheduled or recorded back to back, and I thought I was gonna lose my mind. I thought I was gonna lose my mind after the second one. I was like, I'm so mentally like overstimulated right now. Because people don't realize like how much it really is like mentally fatiguing.
mhm,
But it is like it's so rewarding just to be able to, talk to people and hear their stories and everything. Um,
yeah,
but it's nice, like it works with me and Jen. So Jen like works for herself. She does social media marketing stuff, and then I work in healthcare, so I work 4 10-hour days. So we can coordinate our schedules to like make things work, where we record on my days off, and we go back and forth as far as like editing podcasts and making the social media posts that week. And so we've got a good balance going on.
good.
But it is tough. Like the more people that you have trying to coordinate on something, like it's really hard. Um, but we've been making it work. But I can totally see like needing to kind of do your own thing with the timelines and stuff. It's hard.
Yeah, like my beer review show, there's two of us, and like our schedules, we because there's only two of us, like there's a 3 day window
Hmm.
that we try to record in. Typically Friday. If we can't do Friday, we can do Saturday. If we can't do Saturday, Sunday's kind of that last shot, because usually the shows come out on Tuesdays, but since it's football season, we try to drop them on Sunday, like
Hmm.
Sunday morning, just because we talk about the week's games.
Yeah.
But like it does get tricky because there'll be sometimes he'll like text me. It's like, hey, like I'm gonna be late, and it's like a Friday night. I just got done training. I'm sore. I'm tired. I just want to get done and go to bed. Like I don't want to be up to midnight. You know, because by that point now I'm really obnoxious and I'm just saying the most goofy things to him to see if I can break him, if I can make him like get uncomfortable, and it doesn't ever work. 30 years. He's known me for 33 years. So he's like, dude, throw everything at me that you want. It's not going to work. It's like, damn it. I knew it was coming. But,
Such a fun game
but
to play.
it's like, I'm just trying. I'm trying so hard. Like it
Mhm.
works with grandma. Um, but yeah, like coming up on your, your 1 year anniversary on this, that's huge.
Mhm.
And, like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. So getting that first year like knocked out is like, oh wow, like
Yeah,
we're
it's so
podcasters.
cool. It's so cool, and like now we've kind of extended our reach a bit, and we're collaborating with some different brands, and um, like we're gonna be going out to all women's grappling camp in Indianapolis next July. Somebody that we connected with on the pod, AJ Klingerman, she's bringing us out for that. She hosts every year.
Awesome.
Um, we've got some potential things in the works with some other guests that we've had. We have a podcast coming out tomorrow with Patrick Cummins, Durkin. He's a retired UFC fighter, and he's got a new gym in LA right now, and we want to try and collab with him and do some women's events. So we've got some possible cool things coming down the pipeline. So it's just exciting to see, you know, I feel like we've done so much in this 1 year, and it's like, what's next? And I mean, you've been doing this for 5 years, so like it's so nice to see people just killing it in the podcast world.
It's fun, it's hard
Mhm.
work, but it's fun because conversations that you have with different individuals, hearing their stories, and really just like talking to different people from other parts of the world. That's
Mhm.
always like like I'll have one of my friends, they want to come over and watch UFC fights one night. I was like, okay, that's fine. The card start like the main card starts at 10. I'm
Mhm.
recording with somebody in Australia. So I got to record at 8 o'clock with them because it's 11 a.m. for them. So
Mhm.
in I don't want to pass that up.
Mhm.
I love, those opportunities speaking to someone, from, Australia, Sweden,
Right.
Spain, stuff like that. And it's always like, and if it weren't for the podcast, that's, I half these people I probably would not have encountered. Like
Mhm.
I don't know that I would have encountered, you all with your podcast. So it's just as we do these things, it's like, oh, this opens up other opportunities,
Mhm.
other connections.
Mhm.
So, keep doing it, and those opportunities appear, and you just capitalize from that point.
Yeah. I just like really like I would just love to be able to just throw myself all into like the jujitsu world and step out of healthcare. No, I love what I do. I love being in healthcare, but it's a hard place to work sometimes. So there are some
Oh
times where
yeah.
I'm just like, can I just do jujitsu full time and like podcast and go to camps and go to tournaments and you know, if only that was a super lucrative right off the bat. But we can dream.
Yeah, I've run into people that have started podcasts and their first thought was, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make a lot of money. It's like, dude, if you're looking to make money doing podcasts, I've got some news for you.
Sad
And I
news.
like my friend who's been podding for 10 years, they don't make any money. I think they've had some like offers for
Mhm,
like sponsors and stuff, but they just didn't feel like those were the right sponsors for
mhm.
them.
Right.
And I think that's important too to understand like what fits your base,
Mhm,
versus like if I'm doing this podcast here and then I get contacted by uh I don't know, Oldsmobile to do something. It's like I don't know how that connects. Like that doesn't work, buddy.
sure, why not?
But there's some people that'll say we'll make it work. We'll figure it
Mhm,
out. And
right.
kudos to them. But you know, I like the ideal of just being authentic and being true to your audience. That
Mhm,
which is why I have multiple pods because I like scary movies and I like to talk about them. But it started here. I did one October. I did each week. We talked about horror movies, and I was like, why don't I just spin that off and make a different podcast for horror? And then we did. And then I had a teammate come on, and he wanted to do a hot ones challenge with me. And I hate spicy food with a passion.
Spicy.
But my co-host for my beer review show, he cannot taste spice at all.
Really?
Period. Nothing at all. He can taste the underlying, like he says a lot of like the really, really spicy things just taste like dirt to him. But he's not wasabi, like horseradish, wasabi, that affects him. But like, I guess, what is it? Root spices, stuff like that. That doesn't bother him. But like, I guess wasabi is a seed. So I think that's what it is. But, so he came on that episode and I let him take all the spices and I didn't tell my teammate.
That's awesome.
And at the end, I was like, look, he can't taste spices. So this wasn't going to bother him at all. But then after the teammate left, my buddy and I were talking, I was like, you want to do a podcast? Like, I don't know about what yet. Like we just talk about random stuff. So it's like finding kind of those like things where it's like, that's kind of that one where it's like, we can throw anything at the wall over there. It's like, so if Oldsmobile reached out to that podcast, like, yeah, we'll take that sponsorship.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what's it going to do, but we'll make it work. But if like, like Blumhouse reaches out, Blumhouse Studios say, hey, we want to reach out to Off the Mats podcast. It's like, yeah, maybe my horror podcast would be best for you because we don't talk about horror on the Jiu-Jitsu podcast. But if like, Fuji or whatever, like, I don't know why all the brands just blanked out of my brain just now. Hyperfly, if they're like, hey, we want to like collaborate with you, it's like that makes sense here, but it doesn't make sense for the horror pod unless they're horror fans. They want to do like a horror themed gi.
That would be sick. That would be really cool.
If they're listening, I got you. I got 2 pods that we can promote. Just throwing.
I'm not like a big, I mean, I think I've told you this, but I'm a little bitch with like scary and horror movies. But what I could totally get down with would be some sick, like villain themed keys, like Disney villains. Like that would be cool. Like I would wear the shit out of that, but I'll put that on my list of ideas.
Like I will wear anything. Like if someone's like, hey, can you wear this rash guard and promote it for me? As long as it's not like anything ridiculously like offensive, it's like I will rock that. It's like we like I think some of my teammates have like Hello Kitty geese, and I'm like, dude, I need to get me one of those.
It's so awesome.
Just because. But hey, opportunities are out there, ideals are out there. Maybe I'll reach out to like I know a couple people. Maybe I'll reach out. I was like, hey, here's an idea. Like, can we do this?
I mean, I'll sign the petition if you want to try and get one going.
Hey, I'm always down for petitions because look, they do something right. You get enough signatures and they're like, look, man, the people want this. And
yeah, that's what we're gonna get your coach on your 300th episode. The people want it.
If he does it, if we can get Coach Keith on this podcast or Julius, we will retire the podcast. I'll be done. I'll be done. That's my goal.
I don't want you to retire it, but I'm honored that I've made it before you retire it. So
that's my ultimate goal is to get either of those 2 on here, and then we can retire the show. But that's okay because I got 2 others, and I'll just start another jiu-jitsu podcast.
There you go.
Like, you got there's workarounds to everything. Everything.
No, it's just fun. You always know when you see like you see somebody with like a jiu-jitsu shirt from like across the room, and you're like, oh, somebody I can go talk about jiu-jitsu with. Like, oh yeah. It's like I'm always looking for an opening because my husband does not train jiu-jitsu, so it's very much like not in like my home life much,
Same.
Yeah, so I see like we were traveling before and we were like I think we're on a bus or something. I don't know. And I see some guy sitting like across the aisle and we're both wearing jiu-jitsu shirts and I'm like I wanted to be friends. Like, it's just I don't know, it's just the community, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
so funny.
I think that's one of those big things about jiu-jitsu though too, is the community, what
Mm-hmm.
we get from it, because it's so unique in
Mm-hmm.
itself. Like, and I
Really.
don't know, because I'm not in the, other martial arts communities. I'm not in the judo community. I'm not in the taekwondo community. So I don't know if they have kind of a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should, probably go seek that out, check it out, just so I can know, because I know with the jiu-jitsu community, it's like if we see another one, a shirt or anything, like a keychain, something, oh,
Mm-hmm.
we lock in. And then
Mm-hmm.
like I saw a dude, his wedding band, which mine is upstairs. He had like the silicone
Mm-hmm.
wedding band on, and I see a lot of grapplers with those on the mats. And I saw his, and I was like, hey, man, where you train? It's like, what? How do you know? I was like, your ring. Like, hey, we know our own.
We get it.
Like,
We get it.
saw a guy coming out of the library with a rash guard on. I was like, that's wild. He's just walking around
It's
on a
so
Friday
funny.
afternoon in a rash guard, but okay. And
Mhm.
I was like, hey, where you train at? It was like, oh, around the corner, it says a gym name, which was actually on his rash guard. I just saw rash guard. I didn't look at words. So it was like,
Mhm.
but when we see that community, and as it grows, and as we take care of each other and defend each other, it's something special, because I feel like it's not really a thing anymore these days with like groups. It's like just everybody's kind of out for themselves. And then when I look at the jiu-jitsu community, we're always, looking to help out in some capacity, whether it be a GoFundMe with, someone's gym,
Mhm.
had damages. It's like that GoFundMe hits the Instagram stories, and
Mhm.
so many folks contribute. Or if it's, geese, donating geese somewhere, you know,
Mhm.
folks are always stepping up for those types of things. And I don't see that in a lot of other communities. And to be fair, I'm not in all the other communities,
Right.
but I don't hear a lot of stuff about things like that anymore, at least.
No, it is a very special community. I definitely would agree with that. Um, I think just like the friendships are you just always have people like holding you accountable and like checking in because they know
Mhm.
like if I'm not showing up, like that that's like my safe place, my happy place. If I'm not showing up, like something's up. And like that you'll have people that are like, "Hey, what's up? Like, how are you? Let's get to the mat. Let's do whatever." um there is something special about the community and like the people that I've become friends with just like from competing against them. Like it's just bizarre how it's like, okay, when I met you we are literally just like at it trying to friggin' rip each other's heads off, and then we're done 2 minutes later we get off the podium and we're chatting and then we're friends and then we want to drop into each other's gyms and like what other sports are like that? I still like I think about like college teams that I played against like softball and I'm like fuck that girl. I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that girl. I'm like, oh, she struck me out once. Like, but no, like this girl tried to choke me for 5 minutes straight and I love her. It's just it's a weird community, man, but it really is it's something special, I think, for sure.
Yeah, trying to explain that to somebody who doesn't train, it is very difficult, because it's like,
So hard.
hey, this person was trying to like rip my shoulder out the other day,
Mhm.
and then we went out and got a beer afterward.
Mhm.
Like, really? Like, yeah, that's the and to what you're saying with the check-ins,
Mhm.
that's so important too. Because I had a teammate recently. I hadn't seen him in a while. He popped up last week. I was like, dude, I was getting worried. I was about to, shoot a message. He was like,
Yeah.
he, had housework to do. So it was like he was working on a project. I was like, okay, all right, just I hadn't seen you around. And then there was a
Mhm.
period where I didn't show up for a minute. I think I
Mhm.
missed like 3 weeks or something. This is when I had come back. Like I made my triumphant return. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm on these mats. And I missed like 2 or 3 weeks. And, I had someone reach out. It was like a phone call. of all things. It was like, yo, just checking in.
Don't
Are
make
you
phone
okay?
calls still?
Yeah. Hey, I always tell people like, look, man, I'm all about the phone call life. Like if you text me, I'm obviously gonna respond. But if you call me, I got you. Because if I say, hey, Mal, how are you? Through
Mhm.
text, and you're like, I'm okay. Hmm.
You can't hear the tone. Yeah.
But if I call you and I'm like, yo, you doing okay? And you're like, I mean, yeah, I am. Like, it's not very convincing. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah,
Like
for
you.
sure.
So I'm always, I'm, I always want to hear people's voices
Hmm.
when it comes to. I guess that's part of doing the podcast too. You
For
know.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to like be able to see the face too. Like, man, I live off like my whole family's still back east. So like I FaceTime with my nieces and nephews and stuff all the time. Like it's definitely yeah, the voice and the face makes a big difference. But I feel like your
Yes.
teammates just like know you in a different way. So
Oh yeah.
it's yeah, I don't know. I know I went through a weird, like my first few years training was like really weird time in my life. I don't know why I'm like getting off track a little bit, but
That's
I
what
had
we
my
do here.
yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. No, my first year of training, my cousin for 2 weeks apart, she was diagnosed with sarcoma. She had cancer, so I was kind of like my first year training. I was going back and forth visiting her in New York and like just trying to get time because we didn't know what the future looked like for her. And so when I was kind of like in and out of the gym when I would be going home and visiting and whatever. And the first competition that I did, I signed up for it because she was like, Mel, just fucking do it. Like, just do it. My cousin like encouraged me to do it. She ended up passing away prior to that, but she was like the reason that I followed through and I did that. But like your teammates, they obviously knew that I was like going through a lot at that time. And like going into the mats or like going into the gym, it was like I could get away from all of that. But they could also like Jen especially and my other girl training partners, like they can sense like the like what you need in that moment, right? Like they can sense like, okay, Mel needs to fucking go hard. She needs to get some aggression out, or like Mel, like they just feel like they can read your energy. They could feel your energy and give you what you need in that moment to help you. I don't know. It's just been like such a healing place for me. And I think that it's really like helped me process like so many like emotions and struggles and trauma and like I don't know, it's wild, but your team and your people, they know you better than most in this weird way, even if,
Sure.
you know, even if you're not like actually speaking or telling them everything, um, they know because they feel your energy. And I think that that's something that's really special about jujitsu and about the people.
Absolutely. It actually that brings up I guess a question though too, because I've heard this kind of go either way when
Mhm,
folks talk about their team
mhm,
being like their family,
mhm.
and I have some folks that are like they hate hearing that. They're
Really?
like and then I have others that they embrace that, which I'm one of the ones that embrace it. Uh,
Mhm.
Now I think to be fair, I think the ones who have said they don't like hearing that, they're owners of gyms.
Okay.
So in their minds are like, this is a business transaction. We're
Mhm,
not family.
mhm,
When I think about it, it's like, well, maybe to you that's not the case,
mhm.
but I think to someone who may be new to an area,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
that's
huge for me.
yeah. Uh, I mean, my family, we're down here in Maryland,
Mhm,
and my grandparents are here. My uncle's here now, and his kids. So I have family here,
mhm,
but we're not like a super tightly knit family. Holidays come about. Sometimes we get the kids together, but like you said, your teammates though, they know you. And it's
mhm.
like, because I think about being on the mat, and it's like if anything's off, they're going to see it. They're going to know it. Whereas
Yeah.
my family, they might know certain things, but they don't see me as often as these, individuals on the mat see me and pick up on it. So I think just as you're, explaining there too, it's like, it sounds like, again, you have kind of a family base there
For
with the
sure.
team, especially coming from the East Coast all the way over to the West. You know, that's
Right.
important.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even just like, I think it was like last month, I was just having like such a shit day and I didn't even want to go into the gym, but I was like, I need a distraction. I get on the mats and I'm like sitting there watching, me and Jen are there and I'm just like so fucking antsy and couldn't get out of my head. And I was like, Jen, like, and I just like needed a second. She went into the waiting room or the waiting room, the women's dressing room. I just like fucking broke down and she just was like, just knew, she's like, okay, it's all right. And like, we just sat there and like, she knew, she knew in that moment, like, just because usually like when I'm focused and engaged and like ready to train, I'm like laughing, engaging, like having a good time. But I was just like, I was not good that day. And she could sense that. And so like it's just they know you differently for sure. I don't know. It's funny, like I I always tell my husband, I'm like, I just want you to like come in, like come to my class or just like watch. Like I feel like there's this whole side of me, of my whole personality that you don't know. Because like it's because he's not in the gym with me and that's like my place. So it's kind of weird to think of this, like this whole part of my personality that like so many of my closest friends and family and husband, like I'm just a stranger to them in that arena, which is weird to think about.
When my daughter was, I want to say within her first year, maybe the first 2 years, I'm trying to think, there was a period where I was at the gym 6, sometimes 7 days if we can get a Sunday thing going,
Hmm.
days per week. And my wife stopped me one day. He goes, "Hey, maybe, tone it down a bit. Your kid hasn't seen you in a while."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." But my wife, she works nights, so I'd be there for bedtime and story
Hmm.
time. And she's really little, so she's like infant toddler stage. So I was like, okay, I get what you're saying, but there was a period there where it was almost like I was a stranger to her.
Hmm.
It's like I come in, like, all right, get home from work. Sometimes not even getting home from work. Sometimes what it would be is like I'd go straight from work, straight to the gym, come home, shower, she leaves, I put the
Hmm.
kid to bed, I go to bed, wake up in the morning, go to work. And it was like, oh man.
Like passing ships in the night.
Yeah, and it's like, there was kind of that element of, like being strangers to each other, like more so to our daughter, because it's like, who's this guy who's reading me stories? Like, he only sings Twinkle Twinkle. It's like, I feel like there are other songs in the world, right? Like,
No, just
not
that.
just Twinkle Twinkle. Like, at least my wife had, like, what, 15 years, prior to know, like, okay,
Mhm.
well, I know your personality, I know who you are. The kid is like, who's this guy? Like, he plays Mariah Carey a lot. Like,
Place Mariah Carey, he comes home and he sweats, smells like a bunch of other dudes, and I don't know.
like, he smells weird. Like, I don't want this guy holding me. And but it's that, that community, though, that family atmosphere that you feel, where it's like, these folks get you.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's whenever I hear the people say, we're family, this is like family, I embrace it. I think it's like, because family means something different to everyone.
Hmm.
um but those who kind of push back on it, that's your prerogative. But to also wonder, it's like, what's going on your end, where, like, I guess maybe you're super distant. It's like, I
Hmm.
don't want nobody close to me. Well, I don't know, but whatever it is, as long as they're not like anti-community, I guess that's my big thing too. Like, if you're like, well, no, we're not family, we're we're training partners, this is a business transaction, whatever it is, but as long as there's still that community that exists, but
Right.
the family part, I think, just pulls it a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, something
Yeah.
like that. It all
No,
makes
I'm
sense.
with you. I'm with you. As long as, everybody might be going in looking for different things, and if it gives them what they need, like I love that it gives me like the family and the community and, the motivation and, just people that I don't want to say people that like rely on me, but like they can count on me to be there as like a coach or a training partner or whatever it may be. Like,
Sure.
you know, so yeah.
I want to ask some questions about adversity and tough times on the mats, things
Okay.
like that. So, how do you handle like self doubt and frustration when when training or
Hmm.
competing?
Man, that's a tough one, because I am definitely I actually struggle with obsessive compulsive disorder. So I have a lot of intrusive thoughts. And that is, well, it's something that I've dealt with like my whole life, but it can be a lot better or worse depending on, what's happening. But man, that's a really good fucking question because I feel like just as like women in general, I feel like kind of conditioned to like have some level of like self-doubt or like insecurity in yourself. Or at least like, I don't know, that's kind of like what I grew up thinking like, oh, like you're not good enough or you need to be this way or you need to be, living to whatever standards are expected of you. Um, so I feel like just as like a baseline, like all women have that like ingrained into them since lifelong,
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm sure men too. Um, but I think that it's taken therapy and medication. And honestly, like just figuring out like I have to notice like when I am talking negatively to myself and try and like reframe that and spin it in my head. Sometimes it's easier than other times, but like I said, like therapy has helped. And I don't know, I think that that can come back to community too, because like I I have people that will pick me up when I feel like I'm getting like swallowed in self-doubt, or I have like my training partners like Jen and her husband are like my two favorite training partners in the world. And um there's just like those days where I like the imposter syndrome, self-doubt, like you feel like you're not good enough or you're plateauing or you're not getting better, whatever it is. And then um maybe they do like one round with you and they let you work a little bit, and then you get that spark and it's like, oh, like okay, like they just like, I think that your people, they have a way of like lifting you up or giving you what you need. But I think also being able to like reframe that in your head, which is so much easier said than done. It's still something that I'm working on. But I don't know if I answered your question at all.
You absolutely did. You did. Uh, I, that's one of the beautiful things about this podcast is like, again, it's conversational. So
Mhm.
you ask a question and it comes out in conversation. The
Mhm.
answers always come out in conversation. Like I said earlier, it's like, I have some questions here, but you'll probably answer them before I get to ask them. I'm over here just scrolling through. It's like, geez, Louise, lady, like, well, can I ask one of them? Like,
It's
like you're answering all my questions. What are you reading my mind? Um,
a
but no,
skill.
they no, they absolutely answered it. Adversity is one of those things that I think today, like, I guess in like recent years, it's like one of those things where it's like we're almost kind of told like reach out for help, but then also too on the backhand end of it, you
Mhm.
know, you can do it yourself.
Right.
It's like, well, you're telling me to reach out for help, but like you also told me to do it myself. Like, which one is it?
Mhm.
So, and like you said, though, the community, having Jen there, having your teammates there, you know, I think that helps in those frustrating moments.
Mhm.
those moments where you doubt, that imposter syndrome. Like,
Mhm.
I, I see that a lot in folks and myself, and it's just like like having somebody just let you work a little bit,
Mhm.
just a little bit, and it's like, oh, I do know jujitsu. There are times
Mhm.
where I don't realize they're letting me work. Like
Right.
as they're not doing something, I take a break. I'm like, whew, it's time for me to breathe. They're like, no, we're actually kind of letting up on that side control so you can get out. Oh shit. Oh, like I was just trying to breathe because it was heavy.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah. Has there ever been a point with jujitsu that you got so like just I guess overwhelmed or frustrated, like maybe I need to take a break. Maybe I want to take a step back from this.
Huh. Man, so that's a great question. I think that I've definitely gone through like a few periods of where you feel like you're plateaued and like you're just stuck and you're not making any progress. Um, I've definitely had some of those periods of time. Um, I feel like the way that like my journey has kind of like paralleled with Jen's journey in a way, like we've always gotten promoted together. Like she's just like one belt ahead of me, right? So like when I got my blue belt, she got her purple belt. And then when I got my first stripe on my blue belt, she got her first stripe on her purple belt. So I feel like having like this like partner in crime that like we're kind of like working through the ranks together, that kind of helps push through those areas, those like plateaued areas where you're like, okay, nope, we're in this together, we can do this, like, you know. um but there's definitely and there's been like so many times like in my personal life where I feel like jujitsu has like really saved me. Like like I'm so dark and depressing. I already talked about my dead cousin, but my, but my I went through another period like I was home for like a month. I went home because my grandmother went on hospice, and then um I was holding her hand as she took her last breaths, and then I stayed with my grandfather to help take care of him for a little bit. And then he died 17 days later, and I was holding his hand when he was taking his last breaths. And like, in jujitsu, fucking saved me during that time. That was like I've always like I'm very very close with my family, and I was really close with my grandparents, and like that was probably like easily like the worst like few months of my life right there. And I think that going through like those trials and stuff, and just like having jujitsu there to like dial me back in, get me out of my head into my body, or something to look at to distract me. I think that knowing that that's there, and what it has done for me and what it has gotten me through in the past 5 years that I've been training. I think that thinking about what it's gotten me through keeps me from wanting to give up. So just like, man, it's been a lifesaver for real. Like there's just been so many times where I'm just like, I feel like it is my reason for like getting out of bed some days. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
That I mean, again, like I said, I don't see other hobbies, sports, activities where you get this connection, you get
Mm.
this pull. You know, when I played other sports, there's never like a moment where I felt like whatever's going on in life, I'll get lost,
Mhm.
in being on the court or
Mhm.
lost being on the field. And in fact, outside distractions actually made my performance in football or basketball worse.
Mhm.
So I always feel like with jujitsu, we have that grace. There's an opportunity for us to come out onto the mats and get lost in the reps,
Mhm.
get lost in the routine of it just to breathe a little.
Right.
It's not a fix all.
Mhm.
Like there's the saying, jiu-jitsu is my therapy, or running is my therapy, or this thing's my therapy. And though they can be therapeutic,
Mhm.
they're not a replacement. So when
Right.
you're able to go to jiu-jitsu to at least get a breather away from, life's, heavy moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's sometimes all we need is that breather.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just some room.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm glad that was there for you during those moments.
Yeah,
So.
me too. Me too. Who would have thought? And if somebody told me like 10 years ago that this is what my life would be like, I'd be like, what the fuck? I would never guess. So, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I could never imagine like the first day I stepped on the mats. If you would have told me how long, oh, wow. 10 years. Yeah, it has been 10 years. That's wild. That's actually jarring. I got some work to do.
It's wild. It just,
yeah. But if you would have told me back then, like, hey, this will be your life. This will be, you'll be doing a podcast, talking to other grapplers and learning from them and hearing their stories. I probably like, yeah, you might have the wrong person. I'm not that
I don't
guy.
think you're talking about me.
Yeah, wrong guy. Probably not. But here we are. We're doing our thing. You guys are coming up on a year on the pod, and you know, 10 years, into jiu-jitsu and all this stuff, and it's like, huh? I guess we can do hard things.
Yeah, it's amazing, and and we're not getting any younger, but we can still do hard things.
Yeah. Whenever I see, I say older people on the mat, I'm the older people on the mat. But when I see people older than me on the mat, I'm 47. So when I see anyone on the mat in their 50s and 60s, I'm like, you're who we want to be. You are the rock star in this gym right now, because you're still doing this.
Right. So. This is the icon. This is what we're working towards, until my body says I can't anymore, I'm going to keep on going.
That's my game right now. I feel like this morning, my teammate texts me. He's coming to pick me up to go to open mat. He's like, we doing this? I'm not even out of bed yet. I text like, yeah, I'm getting ready right now. It was a slow get up from oh, my back hurts. And I get to the bathroom, my neck hurts. I was like, ugh. But once I got on the mat, everything it's like that stiffness. Once I got on the mats, everything hurt too, but I was having fun.
Yeah. You just get masked for a little bit.
Yeah. So I want to ask a few closeout questions here to get us wrapped up, because I don't want to take up all your evening. And apparently I just got a text that the Browns might be beating the Ravens. And let me tell you, as someone that lives in Maryland, I love seeing Baltimore. I love seeing Baltimore lose. As someone that's from Detroit, I don't like seeing Ohio win, but
so we've got some feelings. I got you.
These Ravens fans down here are insufferable. So
I've also been a Steelers fan, so I by default don't like the Ravens either. But
I know a lot of Steelers fans, and they always just adopt me in as a fan. I was like, I'll take it, whatever. Yeah, because I don't even dislike the Ravens. It's just the fans. They lose a game and they're like, fire the coach. It's like, dog, lost by 1.
No. I went to a Ravens Steelers game in Baltimore, and I was in college at the time. So, and I was on an assignment, clinical assignment. And so I was by myself. So I just went to this Steelers Ravens game with Steelers jersey on, and the Ravens fans were so mean to me. I'm I'm just here alone, trying to do my thing. They were assholes. So
yeah. There's always this list talking about the worst fan bases, and I don't know how the Ravens don't get top 3.
Yeah,
it's really weird, because I put Philly at number 1 all the time because they're just horrible humans. Whenever I go into Washington versus Philly games, definitely seeing fights, fists are flying. I'm like, we went to a game, I want to say about 12 years ago. No longer. Either way, we went to a game. There were 5 fights.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those fights involved women. And I
Mm.
was just like, I can't do this. like, like, what are we doing, y'all? Like, it's just a game. And then we went to see Washington play Detroit last week.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Detroit jerseys there, which makes me wonder, where were you in '08? Just, question. I told my daughter today, if Detroit wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a t-shirt made that says, where were you in 2008?
There
Because
you
that's when
go.
they're 0-16, and I ain't see no jerseys. No jerseys. I had my t-shirts. Like, I don't want to hear nothing. Everybody want to be a Lions fan now. There's more Detroit fans in that stadium against Washington than there were Washington fans. And that
Mm-hmm.
was really, like, that's, I guess, cool if the Lions fans are traveling like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw some Maryland tags like while we were tailgating. I'm pretty sure they used to be Seahawk fans.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And
You know,
and at some point they were probably Chiefs fans as well.
dude. Ugh. Ugh. Chiefs fans. I don't even want to talk about it.
Dude, when they beat the Lions a few weeks back, I was like, not a single penalty was called on the Chiefs. Not one.
Yo.
Nobody made one mistake. Not at all. Okay. We see what we're doing now. Okay. So
Because everybody,
just
all the refs just want to blow Patrick Mahomes. It's fine. No, I could go
yeah.
off, but I won't.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what? Let me chill. Let me pull up these other questions because if we start talking football, my wife's gonna come and was like, "Are you fucking done? Like, we can hear you upstairs right now. You're talking about the Lions again, aren't you?" It's like, yeah, I mean, kind of like, but I mean, they play Philly tonight, so that's something I'm like,
I'll be rooting for the Lions.
ugh, like I'm. I believe in the Lions, but I'm just terrified for them getting out of the stadium
Mm-hmm.
because Philly fans are loose
Crazy.
like cannons. I look. I went to one game in Philly, and the Lions were playing. We left early because they were so unruly against their own team, who was winning.
Isn't it crazy?
We're just
You
like,
see
I
some
gotta
like
go.
wild footage from these games.
Yeah, like we left, and then as I'm like driving, like we're driving out, I get a text from my buddy saying, "Yo, congrats to the Lions winning." I was like, "They won." I was like, "We definitely got to fucking leave now." Like, I don't want to be around now because I know there's going to be a homicide. So let's just get back to Maryland
Yeah.
and recover. So, all right, sorry about that.
Oh,
I
you're
got.
fine. I love it.
I don't know how much of that will be edited out. I don't know. We'll see.
That's
You'll
okay.
probably stay in. You'll probably stay in because like that's one of those things where it's like that's the beauty of the podcast. It's authentic. It's fun. And
We love football. Football and
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah,
We'll
like I
we'll
don't.
talk again after the Super Bowl and we'll
Of
talk.
course. Yeah, so trust me. After the Bills and the Lions playing the Super Bowl, we're doing another episode. Like
Yeah,
and
100%.
people can be butthurt if it's only football talk. I don't care. Like y'all are gonna still listen. So
Yeah.
uh,
I'm gonna get Buffalo Bills rash guard. Wear that.
oh,
Little side in.
like yeah, I think dang, I didn't even think of that.
We can
Dang,
make some NFL gear rash guards. I'll do
I,
that. The ones
I've
that
got some
just like
emotions right now.
Chiefs, like
I got big feelings right now about that. Huh? It's also funny too because I don't run into a lot of grapplers that like football. So
mhm.
this is also a rarity for me. I'm like, oh my god, I can talk a little bit of football here, and probably people listening now is like, yeah, we don't watch football for a reason because we like grappling. It's like fuck off. All right.
That's how it is in our gym though. Mostly, especially like the classes that I teach. I'll get there in the morning. I'm like, yo, and we watch football this weekend? No. No, I'm okay.
Yeah,
All right, never mind.
yeah. There's like one person that I know at the gym that he at least knows teams because he
Mhm.
knows I like the Lions, and he's like, you guys have sucked for years, and it's like, yeah, thanks, guy. 15-2 last year, dickhead.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
14-3 the year before. Like, yeah, we didn't win the Super Bowl, but they they're winning now. They know how to actually close a game out. Like, quit
Mhm.
being mean. I have emotions. Like,
I
I
really
will
like
leave.
their coach too. Was it
He,
Dan Campbell, right?
yeah, he's a
I
good
like him.
dude.
He is a good dude. And Jared Goff, I like that combination. Jared Goff and him, they're a good pair.
They gave up on Jared Goff and with the Rams. They're like, send
Mm-hmm.
him away. And it's like, and funny thing, he and Matt Stafford have had the same exact numbers,
Mm-hmm.
like since they've both been traded. And it's like, huh,
It was a perfect
imagine
trade. It
that.
worked out for both of them. That's
Yeah, I think Goff's younger energy really worked with what they're building in Detroit,
mhm,
and Stafford's veteran energy worked for the Rams and the leadership that they needed. And Goff has developed into a really good leader for that Lions team, and
mhm,
and Stafford is a great leader for that Rams team. When they won that Super Bowl, I cheered for the Rams because I really like Matt Stafford. I think he's a great dude. He was great for the city of Detroit. He did so much for the families there and so many
mhm.
people. So I always champion behind that dude. And I want the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year. The Rams are up, I think, 21-12 right now. I picked them this week, of course.
Of course.
But like if Detroit can't make it from the NFC, I want it to be the Rams. And if it can't be the Rams, I like Baker Mayfield because the Browns gave up on him too. So I want
Mhm.
that dude to do it. I like when people give up on somebody and that person comes back and says, look, it
Yeah.
wasn't me. It was
Mhm,
y'all. And
mhm.
they prove them wrong. So if I can't get the Lions, I want the Rams. If I can't get the Rams or the Lions, give me the Bucks. If I can't get either of them, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm probably gonna go to the strip club. And I don't even like strip clubs. Those like I went to a strip
I'll
club
go with you,
recently.
buddy. I love a good strip club.
Like I was at a strip club recently. There was like a PFL card on or something. I was just watching the fights. my my buddy was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, there's fucking fights on, dude." like, they were like,
Like,
"What are we
that's
doing?"
exciting to me.
Like, I'm into that. And they're like, "Okay." And the one lady comes over and like wants some company. I was like, "I mean, if you want to talk about these fights, yeah, like, I mean, we can do this, but I'm watching fights. I'm
Kind
busy.
of busy right now.
Bartender, can I get another high noon?" Like, the peach one. It's fucking great. I'm trying to watch these fights, dude. So
That's
if
hilarious.
neither of those teams are in the NFC representative, I will be at a strip club on Super Bowl Sunday. That's like I'm taking that to the grave with me. I don't know if that's staying in, but I do have the video stays, so there is the proof there.
I will remember that though.
And then for the AFC, it is only Buffalo that I want to see there. I don't see anyone else because
Yes, go
like
Bills.
I'm trying to think who's in AFC. Like
Chiefs. We just don't want to see the Chiefs
I don't
anymore.
want to see the Chiefs is the big thing. I don't need the Patriots to get good again right now. So
Dude, but they
relax.
are though. They are looking good. They're gonna probably win the East this year, our division.
They're
We'll see.
very well coached.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they don't have the pieces, but they have the coaching, and it's really scary because once he gets the pieces, it's like, oh fuck,
Mhm.
here
Mhm.
we go again with this now. Another decade of them. So like who's in the West? No one's in the nah, I don't want to see one in the West. Like who's in the South? I don't mind Daniel Jones
Mhm.
making a come up because New York gave up on him
Mhm.
and he's clearly showing that he wasn't the problem. But whatever. Okay, sorry. All right, back to it. So let's go ahead and do a quick rapid fire to close us out here,
Okay.
and
We love
and
rapid
then I'll
fires.
finish up. So these are basic rapid fires. I feel like I need to start looking around like on the internet. Like, give me some like fun rapid fires. These are just basic jujitsu rapid fires, though.
Mhm.
So, the first one. What's your favorite submission?
Kimoras.
Nice, love it. Love
Always my
hearing it.
go-to. Always.
You always find a way to the Kimura, and oh
It's
my god, I
just
love it.
it's just so great. It's like my favorite thing to teach and whenever I can get it, I'm like, it's the best. It's the best. It's the most success I've had like in competitions. That's most of my subs are Kimuras.
You are already super cool, but that just kind of is like, all right, like you're the coolest now. The Kimura on its own is like
Mhm.
look, like we talking football, we out here throwing Kimuras, like I think we just became best friends.
I love it. I love it.
Gi or no gi?
So, no gi. I feel like I go back and forth between the two because when I first started training, I did all the fundamentals in no gi. And then when I started training gi, I was like, this is great. And I threw myself all into that. And then I liked that by default just because I was training it more. And now the classes that I teach are adult fundamentals no gi. So by default, I'm doing more no gi. So I feel like I kind of go back and forth. So it depends.
At the end of the day, it's all grappling. Right?
Yeah, it's all the best. I love it.
All right. Anyone from the past or the present, who is your dream role?
Dream role. That's so funny because like before I started training, like I didn't follow like any like MMA, any type of martial arts or fighting or anything like that. So like now I just have like my very limited you know, the limited people that I do know. Um I don't know. Like I really don't. I don't know.
And that's an okay answer because I've someone asked me this and I was like, I don't know.
I'm
Like,
wrong.
I don't know if we like I love our sport because we do have the opportunity to like bump into like some of the bigger stars, I guess, if you would
Mhm,
call them that, like Craig Jones, Gordon Ryan, Fionn Davies, the Rentolo, brothers, stuff like that. But even still with that, it's like, okay, we have that opportunity to encounter them.
mhm,
I mean, that's my dream role.
mhm.
It's like it just means, hey, I ran into this person because my grandma ain't going. If I say to my grandma, dude, I met Craig Jones last week, she was like, who the fuck is that?
Yo, that's a great call. That's a great call. But you know, what I just thought of, did you ever follow Jiu-Jitsu Grandma?
Yes.
Okay, that's my dream. I would love to train with her.
Yeah. She seems so super sweet and just like,
Mhm.
dude, she's doing it. She is the rock star.
Yeah, we had her on our podcast and she was so fun and so sweet and she's not really active on social media anymore, unfortunately. But I would just love to like meet her and train with her just because I feel like she was one of the first like people in the jiu-jitsu community that I really started following like right after I started training. And I was like,
Mhm.
this lady's amazing and I love her. And like in my head, I'm like, this is like a celebrity to me. So I'm gonna go with Jiu-Jitsu Grandma.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Like I did listen to that episode,
Hmm.
and it is funny because like I would love to sit down with her, but that's where the imposter syndrome comes in because I'm like, oh my god, I'm so like I don't know, like should I be the one talking to her? But it's like I love hearing her on other podcasts because it's like, you know what,
She's so cute.
like by default, it's like, hey, I had her on my podcast too.
Hmm. Like, yeah,
Uh,
no, she was just the coolest. She's so sweet. So I would love to somehow cross counter or cross paths with her sometime. Maybe roll with her, have her kick my ass. I would love
Fair enough.
it.
Um, after training, what's your go-to meal or snack?
Ooh, like after training.
Hmm.
Oh man. Well, I'm a big like fan of ice cream and I wish that I could have ice cream after I train every single night, and I would if I could, but we don't keep it in my house because I would probably eat it for every fucking meal if I could. Because
We
I love
share
ice
that in
cream.
common.
No, but after competition, like I need a fat ass burger and a beer. That's my go-to after I compete. But I mean, generally it doesn't, I don't really know as far as like just regular meeting. If I could have a burger and ice cream every single night after training, I would. But it just depends.
That's fair. I mean, look, if ice cream was an availability to me, same here. I
Mhm,
think we might get ice cream maybe 3 times a year,
mhm,
just because if it's here, if I remember that it's here too, oh,
mhm,
it's not making it out the day. So nope, nope, not for us. All right, and let's see here what I got. One song that never fails to hype you up before training.
mhm. Okay, so anything with Mac Miller, he's my boy. I love him. Um, really like any of his music at all. And then like really random, but like one of my favorite songs to like, whether it's to sing for to do for like karaoke or whatever. I'm a big fan of the song Fuck Her Gently by Tenacious D. And it just like never fails to just make me like really happy. So we'll go with that.
I mean, hell, when I do karaoke, I just like to do Hall and Oates, but you know.
Yeah, nope. That's a really, really good song to do for karaoke. It's always a hit. So I suggest it.
I'll keep that in mind next time I do karaoke night. Like, I guess it'll be a change up from I can't go for that. Like this guy with that fucking song again. All right. And last one here, which is just me trying to fish for episode titles. Which episode title best describes your current jiu-jitsu mindset?
Ooh, okay. Oh man, this is a lot of pressure. I'm so bad at keeping up at coming up with titles. What would title my?
You might have to ask this question every episode now so I can get episode title.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is a really hard one. I don't know. I wish that I was helping you more. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? You tell me.
Jeez, I don't know. Guess that's horrible of me to say because like, well, I just interviewed you. Did you learn anything?
But no, I mean, I feel like where I am, I feel a lot of people always say that like there's one of the hardest belts, or like one of the ones that seems like the hardest or maybe takes the longest, or like whatever. Everybody has this period of time where like I'm in the fucking weeds in the first year of being purple belt. So I've been dealing with like all year I've had like different injuries and like just been stupid shit. So I guess I don't know. Fuck. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry.
That's not very rapid fiery, to be quite honest.
No, it's not. I'm doing so bad. I'm so sorry.
That's more of a like, hey, I'm gonna ask you this question. You need 20 minutes to think about it.
20, I know, right? I'm gonna text you later and tell you what I come up with. I would just say, you know what, like no matter what, I feel like jiu-jitsu is just always going to be always there to just like save me and then lift me up through all of the good and the bad times in life. It's always there.
Hey, I mean, that's a title in itself. Jiu-jitsu is always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Maybe that's the title. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I think honestly, we're done here, my friend. I mean, we could talk for so much longer, I'm sure, but I don't want to take up all your afternoon. And I think my wife just made sloppy joes. So, and I'm a big child. So I'm going to go upstairs and just like make a complete mess while I watch the Lions game because I'm super immature.
I'll go root for the Lions with you there, bud.
Much appreciated. We need all the cheering that we can get because the Eagles are tough, but they're not. They're just, I don't know how to describe them, but like, I don't want them to win another Super Bowl either. And I said last year, if it was the Ravens and Philly, I was going to stop watching football altogether, period, because neither fan base deserves a Super Bowl. They're the worst fan bases. And Philly are horrible people because they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. And like, look, they're just, that's not okay. Be nice. All right. I got to chill. I got to stop talking shit about Philly because
I love it.
I've had Philly guests on here and I know I have more. And I got to be careful now because I told a story about this dude, Brad from Philly. And I don't want to ever encounter Brad from Philly because Brad went into a frat house. Didn't even, the dude who got beat up, he didn't even know the dude, but he went in there and like rescued him.
Oh my gosh.
By himself. So I need to meet Brad from Philly. And I promise you I won't talk shit about Philly fans ever again if I meet Brad. But, until then, fuck Philly.
Fuck him. We hate them.
All right. Well,
That's too funny. Well, I look forward to chatting with you more, especially around Supertown or Super Bowl time.
absolutely. Absolutely. Before we get out of here, you have any shout outs and mentions that you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
No, just check out our podcast. It's what is our thing? I'm so good at this. Yeah, so check out our podcast. So it's Chokeholds and Chill podcast, and my personal page is It's Mail Time. I don't know if anybody's a fan of Blue's Clues, but that was the inspiration for my thing. It's Mail Time.
I used to be a preschool teacher, so
well, there you go.
I
So
picked up on it as soon as I saw it. I was like, I get the jokes.
I'm so glad because not everybody gets it. But yeah, Chokeholds and Chill Pod. Find us on there. Check out our thing. Just me and my friend Jen. And yeah, if anybody's ever on the Oregon coast, find us, come train with us. And yeah, we have a lot going, so you'll see.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And as always, to you guys, the listeners, thank you. If you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, anything, please feel free to reach out. You can always find me at bjj.wiki on Instagram or Off the Mask Podcast as well on Instagram. I'd like to give a big shout out to my crew over there at Nerd Rage Radio. Bobby, Chris, Joe, Marilyn Phil, Ricky Ticky, Farrell, Chucky O. Who else is there? I don't know. I took the mug with all the names upstairs, so I don't know. But I love those guys, and if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be doing the podcast. So thank you to the Nerd Rage Collective, and go check their podcast out. They talk about a lot of nerd stuff. I haven't been there in a while, so they might be talking about other stuff now. Who knows? But thank you to Nerd Rage Radio. I want to also shout out my other podcasts. So you like horror? If you like scary movies, go check it out. We are working on a theme right now. Actually, we're done with the theme of remakes versus originals. As we're gonna go into December, we're gonna do like Black Christmas because Christmas time, and then going into January, we're gonna start a new theme where we're talking about horror TV series, like TV shows, stuff like that, like Bates Motel, Haunting of Hill House, Black Mass, things like that. So go check it out if you like scary stuff. If you don't, then don't check it out. But either way, I think it's fun and I love it. So go check it out on Instagram as well. So you like horror, all the words separated by underscores. And last but not least, I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to my guest here. Miss Mallory. Hold on. I didn't even say your last name earlier. Let's say Ingalls. Ingalls. Oh yeah, I'm a genius. Big shout out to Mallory and her podcast, Chokeholds and Chill. Go check them out over there on Instagram. And also go check. Hey, I was a guest over there. Go check that episode out. Pump those numbers up, y'all. But we'll definitely love to have you back on. Hopefully around Super Bowl time, because after our teams play in the Super Bowl, we're going to talk a lot of shit here, and people are going to be annoyed.
Can't wait.
But as always, to you guys, the listeners, thank you again. We love you guys. Yeah. You all know what it is. Yeah. You guys keep listening, and we'll definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
Deep with it. Now let me sing a song.